Welcome to Yarra Ranges Life TV's Midweek Wrap. And the Midweek Wrap is brought to you, of course, by our major sponsor, that's Methven the Professionals. If you're buying, selling or renting, be sure to use a professional. Every week, our team presents the latest local news headlines, some sports shorts, and a different community group every week presents the weather. And this week, it's Healesville Primary School's turn. This week we talk homelessness and rough sleepers as well with CEO of the Holy Fools as well as Councillor Tim Heenan. He conducts the homeless winter sleep outs every year. And this week in the AFL it's the Pride Cup round, and we also speak to Jason Ball in regards to his involvement with the Pride Cup and also his particular background, his personal story that he's got to share with us as well. So that's an interesting interview. Be sure to watch that one. And as always, we like to finish off with a bit of music to bring us home at the end of the week. And tonight, yes, we're going to feature the magical sounds of the Yarra Valley and the Yarra Ranges' own Little Giants. Yes, we did a great interview with those guys a little while ago, and we are featuring one of their original songs tonight, and that's called A Night to Remember. But now, it's time for the latest news headlines with Loretta DeVoe and Jim Brown.
Hi, I'm Loretta DeVoe.
Hi, I'm Jim Brown, and welcome to the Midweek Wrap.
This week's Lilydale and Yarra Valley leader tells us over 6,500 Victorians are turned away by food charities each week. The food charities just don't have enough food for those in need. To combat this growing problem, Leader Community News and food charity Fair Share is again seeking donations for this year's Feed Melbourne appeal. The donations will be given to charities to provide food for the disadvantaged. You can find out all about the appeal, including how to donate and how the funds are used to help those in need, by reading the full story. Yarra Ranges Council has approved a planning permit for supermarket retailer Aldi, with some conditions of changes to the initial plan. The store is to be built at 175 Maroondah Highway, Healesville, and will provide locals with more choice when it comes to grocery shopping. In another plus for shoppers, the new Aldi store will also create some competition in the town, going head-to-head with Coles Supermarket. Read all about it on page 3 of the Lilydale and Yarra Valley Leader. Kimberley Reserve in Chertside Park is all set for a new pooch playground. A specially designed playground just for dogs is about to open, providing pet lovers with a space to allow their four-legged friends to play off-lead. The dog agility area will include hoops, obstacles and a training space, and is set to open mid-year. You can find out more about the doggy playground and the reserve's $6 million revamp in this week's Lilydale and Yarra Valley Leader newspaper. The Lilydale and Yarra Valley Leader reports that a feline hunter is coming to Victoria to investigate after 3 sightings of big cats had been reported in the Yarra Ranges over the past 3 weeks. Former Australia Zoo big cat handler Vaughan King believes there are mountain lions, jaguars and leopards living across the country. Mr King will be calling the Yarra Ranges home for a while in a bid to acquire evidence of the existence of big cats in the Yarra Ranges.
And the Upper Yarra Mail revisits a story that's been circulating around the Yarra Ranges for many years. Big cats. Former Australia Zoo big cat handler Vaughan King is convinced tigers, leopards, panthers or even all 3 are out there, following recent sightings of a big cat at Kalorama. Now the theories about how they got there vary, from a Monbulk miniature zoo owner who released animals into the bush to World War II US Army panther mascots which were either released or escaped. It's an ongoing unsolved mystery, and the story gives website and Facebook links if you want to know more. This week's Ranger Traders Mail's front page features great news for the Emerald SES, with the Emergency Services Minister James Merlino pledging more than $1 million in the upcoming budget to upgrade the unit's facilities. Unit Controller Ben Owen welcomed the funding for the 2-storey building, which he said will end many years of substandard facilities for one of the busiest units in the state. The Mount Evelyn Mountain News and Ferntree Gully Belgrave Mail newspapers feature the story of Heather Roberts, who will soon finish a book to honour the memory of her husband, Kiyoshi Andrew Roberts, who lost his life to brain cancer. Heather's book aims to help other families understand the trauma of watching a family member die from the fatal disease. Kiyoshi was a much-loved instructor at Edge Martial Arts in Mount Evelyn, and Heather has formed a foundation in his name. The story tells more, how to find out more about the Kiyoshi Andrew Roberts Foundation and how to make donations. Finally, the Fern Tree Gully Belgrave Bell reminds us the chestnut season is here with the Kalorama Chestnut Festival next Sunday, 7th of May.
I'm Loretta DeVoe.
And I'm Jim Brown.
Thank you for watching the Midweek Wrap.
Now it's time for
Sports Shorts.
Today on Yarra Ranges Life TV, we're having a bit of a chat to, I suppose, the inspiration and a very personal, inspirational story behind the Pride Cup. Of course, it's the big round this weekend in AFL. We're having a chat to Jason Ball. Jason, thank you very much for your time and sharing your story with us on Yarra Ranges Life TV.
My pleasure, great to be here.
Thank you. Now, the Pride Cup, of course, you guys are all about breaking down some serious barriers and stereotypes when it comes to homophobia within our, not just, I suppose, the AFL, but also our community in general as well. Yeah, would you like to share your personal story with us?
Sure, well, I mean, growing up playing football, realising that I was gay, I thought that I would never be accepted in the football club. You know, the word gay was constantly used to mean bad or weak or soft.
Derogatory term, yeah.
And it just made me feel that if any of them found out who I was, that I'd be bullied, maybe I'd get kicked off the team. You know, I didn't get involved in conversations about relationships, what I was doing on the weekend. It probably limited the kinds of friendships and bonds that I could have developed with my teammates when I was growing up. But my story is very much a positive one, because at the end of the day, all of the fears that I had about how my teammates would react to me weren't actually realised. And, you know, part of me...
So what happened there?
Well, I mean, you know, I turned out that there was only so much that I could hide, and at one point I was out to, you know, all other aspects of my life except for my football teammates. And you know, I'd gone to the extent of creating a separate Facebook list so that all my teammates wouldn't see photos I was tagged in, places I was checked into, what my relationship status was. But I'd made a promise that if I got asked about it, that I wouldn't lie. You know, I can remember really clearly the first time it came up in conversation with one of my teammates. He'd broken up with his girlfriend, and we were in the club rooms and chatting, and he put it back onto me, and he's like, "Oh, what about you, Bally? Aren't you seeing someone at the moment?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm seeing someone." And my teammate just said, "Well, what's his name?" And my heart started beating really fast. I thought maybe he was testing me, and I just said his name is James. And my teammate was like, "Well, has he come to any footy matches yet?" And I was like, "No, he hasn't." And he goes, "Oh, you should bring him down. It'd be really great to meet him." And
how supportive.
It was like this massive weight getting lifted off my shoulders. And you know, at that point, I'd never felt more part of the football club than I had in my whole life. And it wasn't just the fact that I felt accepted, that I could belong, but when I decided to share my story publicly and I guess campaign for the AFL to do more to tackle homophobia, that my teammates and my club were really on board. You know, they were really unapologetic about it, and going out and marching with me at Pride March and getting involved in, you know, campaigns with the AFL Players Association to stamp out homophobic language, and now the Pride Cup.
Fantastic. What a great story, and what a great positive message too. And of course, all that has led, as you said, to the Pride Cup. And this weekend, it's all on, isn't it?
It is. It's all on. So the 4th year now for the Pride Cup.
Wow.
So it started all the way back in 2014, and every year Yarra Glen's played against a different side here in AFL Yarra Ranges.
Fantastic.
And as part of the game, we paint the 50-metre line in a rainbow, the international symbol for gay pride. And I'm pretty sure it was the first time that something like that had ever happened in a game of AFL, let alone country football.
Yes.
And it's just this incredible symbol of acceptance for people who are LGBT or I. Out in the community to say that you're welcome here, and it's kind of a message of acceptance coming from a place where you'd expect it the least, like country football, which is what makes it so powerful.
Absolutely right. I mean, that's the last place you'd expect to find some kind of level of acceptance for gays and lesbians and the rest within our community. So that's so empowering, and that's fantastic. Look, now there's some matches happening down here on Sunday, the 7th of May. It's actually this Sunday, and come on down to the Yarra Glen Reserve and the footy club and the footy ground down here. There's netball, there's football. I think the juniors started about 8:45, so about 8:45. You'll get the action happening on the way. Come down here and support this great cause and demonstrate that we are smashing some serious barriers and stereotypes when it comes to homophobia, and how, of course, the greater community relates to everyone who just wants to love someone that they deserve to love.
That's right. And look, there'll be Auskick clinics happening at half time. There'll be some AFL players from the St Kilda Football Club down here.
Fantastic.
There'll be a junior girls match as part of the game. So very family friendly. Bring everyone you know. It should be a great day.
And do you know what, Jason? Yarra Ranges Life TV. Yeah, we'll be here on the day too. We'll be doing a live cross sometime during the day in the afternoon, probably after lunch sometime, and we'll be sharing some of the vibe, some of the fun and the activities that's down here at Yarra Glen. Yeah.
Look, it should be a huge vibe. We've had about 4 times as many people usually turn up to the game. We've got stall holders and food vans. It should be a really great event.
Fantastic. So, look, I hope you can join us down here at Yarra Glen's Pride Cup that's happening this Sunday, and thank you very much, Jason Ball, for sharing your story and being part of, being, as I said, the trigger behind this wonderful, shattering, groundbreaking event. So
Thanks,
good
Pat.
on you, mate. Cheers.
Cheers. Appreciate it.
Sports Shorts. And this week, the weather's presented by
Healesville Primary School! We're the My House captains.
And on Thursday in Yarra Glen,
It'll be a top of 18.
we are the Yarra House captains.
And on Friday in Yarra Glen, it'll be a top of 20.
We're the Chum House captains.
And on Saturday in Yarra Glen,
It will be a top of 20.
We're the Watts captains, and on Sunday in Yarra Glen, it'll be a top of 17.
We are the school captains.
And the weather this week was presented to you by Healesville Primary School.
Yay!
Hi, my name's Tom Gamble. I'm a teacher at Healesville Primary School. Healesville Primary is a key part of the Healesville community. We've been here for 150 years, had our celebrations last year. We really value the input that we get from the community, and we welcome the community into the school. It's a key focus of the school. One of the other things that Healesville Primary School really focuses on is looking at the whole child. So we develop them academically, but we also have a real focus on building resilience and developing them as a whole child, as a person. We think that's an important part of our education and our part in the community.
Healesville Primary School!
We're coming into the winter months, and a lot of people in the Yarra Valley and the Ranges will be doing it tough, as they do every winter, as rough sleepers or potentially homeless as well. And late last year we did a fantastic interview with Holy Fools CEO Neal Taylor, and also Councillor Tim Heenan as well, who's involved with the winter sleep out for the homeless. And Holy Fools, of course, are one of the many organisations out here in the Valley and the Ranges that try to provide some support services for those that are doing it a little bit rough and tough. So here's our interview that we did with those guys. Thanks for watching. Today on Yarra Ranges Life TV, I'm joined by Neal Taylor, the CEO of Holy Fools, as well as Councillor Tim Heenan, to have a bit of an in-depth discussion about the topic of homelessness throughout the Yarra Ranges and the Greater Yarra Valley region. Neal and Tim, thank you so much for joining us here on Yarra Ranges Life TV.
Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure.
Much pleasure, yeah.
Thank you. And gentlemen, can you? I'll start with you, Neal. Can I ask, how did you get involved, and what role do you play in addressing the issue of homelessness here?
Probably around about that time, 2009, we formed Holy Fools with the idea of being that it would provide at that stage, a sort of an umbrella to do some chaplaincy work with the guys. So instead of just working with the guys in the meal, I was outside doing things, taking people to hospital, doing visits to police stations, hospital, jail, doctors, and things like that.
Providing that extra
support, frontline support. So Holy Fools sort of was formed to provide that umbrella to work under.
Yeah, my good fortune was to meet Neal and all the rest of the gang at Holy Fools a couple of years later, seeing that he was the closest grassroots person within that Lilydale district that was operating on his own and without much help and without much money as well, to be able to try and get to the people and help them the most. We formed an alliance there quite a few years ago now, And our message is simple, Holy Fools' message is simple. Whenever we've had the sleep outs, whether they've been 10 nights or there's some years I've been able to do 30 nights, it's just getting an awareness of what's going on in our area. It's been wholly understood in Victorian Melbourne for many, many years that people out in the west have issues, but people all over Melbourne have issues of poverty and homelessness, and it's up to us, if we can, to put that message to the people every single time. And it's been great to have that alliance with Holy Fools to be able to do that.
So there is some positive light at the end of the tunnel, and that's in the way of solutions. And Holy Fools has been at the forefront in providing solutions for a range of community members that find themselves in this situation. Neal, what kind of services exactly do you guys provide there?
Holy Fools provides a triage service. Unfortunately, we can't provide housing. We don't have the resources or the funds to do that. I mean, that's one of our ultimate dreams to be able to do that. But
we provide concrete roofs overhead.
Yeah, even temporary.
Yeah.
But at the moment, what we do is offer frontline triage services, where we'll actively seek out people who are sleeping rough. We'll go looking and in the different areas around the, as Tim says, sort of in the bush as well, every now and then. We work just within the Yarra Ranges, so we tend to stick in the Mount Evelyn, Lilydale area, and all the way through to Warburton and places like that. Not so much on the Healesville side just yet at the moment, but we run 2 meals during the week, 2 lunches, where people who are experiencing homelessness can pop in for lunch. And the idea of the food is to, well, be the nourishment, but it's also to be a point of contact for people that may be afraid to go into some of the agencies. So even today we had 2 or 3 fellas that had been sleeping rough just in the Lilydale area, who turned up today for lunch. One of them I'd actually spoken to previously, but the other 2 were brand new today. And we were able to ascertain some of their issues and maybe provide like a blanket or a swag or something that was a bit more tangible. Unfortunately, when they go to somewhere like Anchor, which a lot of them, we refer them to Anchor, because Anchor can actually get them onto a database and go them into either boarding houses or in other places. But we try and work with them to say that's the best option, but failing any places available, then we'll often try and get them as comfortable as we can while they're on the street or sleeping in some sort of arrangement.
So Holy Fools is a bit of a frontline, I suppose, safety net that would then identify these individuals and then refer them on to perhaps some additional assistance and other services.
Yeah. I mean, we try to be as holistic as possible and understand everyone has got completely different needs. There's mental health issues and drug and alcohol issues to deal with as well. So, but we tend to provide this frontline triage service as much as we can. There's lots of people that we don't get to see, but there's also lots of people that we do get to see. Yeah.
Fantastic. So, out of all the different, I suppose, services that are provided out there, there's always a greater need, and there's always something else that can be done. And Tim, can I ask, as councillor now, what have you identified as potentially being one of the things that we could do within our own backyard, one of the, I suppose, facilities that we could provide to better help these people in trouble and those strugglers?
Thanks, Pat. The question is a big question.
It's a big one.
And I'll be spending the next 4 years as councillor here in Yarra Ranges focusing on getting a drop-in centre. I'm absolutely convinced that that's the first and most important step for Holy Fools and other organisations that want to co-locate with Holy Fools in order to get an idea of where we're going to stand in the coming 1 or 2 decades. I'm concerned about the ABS statistics that will give us a much clearer picture on how many people are either sleeping in cars or that have been in rooming houses. And I'm aptly concerned about older females too, because it's going to show that they're becoming a huge trend in homelessness. But the important thing is we need to act in a proactive way. I've had initial discussions with my fellow councillors who are great and very supportive of what I'm doing. The directors and staff at Yarra Ranges Council are so. But it's something that has to have suitable planning and then go out to the public, and I will go out to every single member of the business public in and around Lilydale, because I believe somewhere out there in our local district there is a factory or a suitable house or a building or something that Holy Fools can utilise to start the game going. You know, we can't go on forever. Neal and the gang at Holy Fools do such a great job in feeding people, but it's a mobile situation, which they're doing out in the open. We've got to move on from that. We really do, and we've got to act in a proactive way. I understand what Neal needs, because we've spoken about it for many hundreds of hours over the last 10 or 11 years.
At length.
I'm now in a position where I hopefully can make that change. I will appeal, I will beg, I will ask, you know, I will do anything I can to bring someone forward to be able to give this suitable accommodation, this suitable premises for Holy Falls to start what they should have started if they were able to many years ago.
And I suppose if I can ask you, what kind of a link to the community or council services or other agencies would a place like this provide?
It gives Yarra Ranges Council an opportunity to go to one area to speak to one identity or two or three identities, rather than have to travel all over the region. We've got fantastic other people in Yarra Ranges besides Neal that have their own little pockets of helping the destitute and homeless people and that. And I'm not suggesting that they're going to come down to Lilydale to have a centrally focused area. What I'm suggesting is it's difficult, and look, we're well aware in 2017 the pressures that are going to be born coming out of changes in welfare from the federal government. That'll trickle down to state. Local government will have to react to the NDIS when that comes in. We really should get focused now on proactively understanding where the people are and how many people there are and what the need is, rather than just getting in general terms a casual knowledge of that. The time is well gone past when a permanent area for people like Holy Falls and the other agencies that want to co-locate with him need to have a central location. It's the only way to pick up the people that are falling through the cracks. And in this day and age, so many people are falling through the cracks. We have to stop it at all cost.
Okay. Neal, Tim, thank you so much for your time and your comments and sharing your experience with us here on Yarra Ranges Live TV. And look, this is certainly an issue that we'll be following up on over the coming months. Excellent. And looking forward to talking to you more down the track, hopefully in a few months' time, where maybe we've seen some change. And
we'll get a drop-in centre by hook or by crook.
We'll get it happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks Neal again, and thanks Tim also for their time in having a chat to us, and we'll be having a bit more of a chat to both gentlemen moving forward in the future on Yarra Ranges Life TV. But look, what that brings to a close this week's episode. Yarra Ranges Life TV, we produce a midweek wrap every week. We've been doing it since the beginning of April, and to catch up on previous episodes, you can see them on our YouTube playlist. You can also find them on our Facebook page as well. And tonight, we love to always end the midweek wrap with some music, and we'll crank it up a notch in a different tone. It's the Yarra Valley and the Yarra Ranges' own Little Giants. They're going to perform a wonderful song for us. It's an original song, and it's called A Night to Remember. And May is also a massive music month for the team at Yarra Ranges Live TV, with live crosses featuring the music of Alex Borg, American artist who's played with ZZ Top and Eric Clapton and Cream. That's Todd Hart. He'll be coming up to Lou's Lounge on the 19th of May. We'll be there. We'll be streaming that, and that's also supported by the Little Giants that you guys will see in just a moment. Plus, of course, every Sunday night we'll be bringing you some great local live music. It's all jam nights up at the Mount Dandenong Hotel. So be sure to tune in every Sunday night from about 8:30 for those live crosses. But look, I'm going to bring this one to a close. Thank you very much for watching Yarra Ranges Life TV's midweek wrap. If you love what we're doing, be sure to like us on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's free of charge, and stay tuned for more interesting local stories by locals for locals on Yarra Ranges Life TV. Here's Little Giants with A Night to Remember. See you next week. Cheers.
Nice.